Every night, Mars watches us from the darkness, a crimson eye that never blinks. We've been dreaming of colonizing the red planet for decades, yet every mission reveals the same disturbing truth. Mars doesn't want visitors. Dust devils that tear across continents without warning, soil that burns through metal, radiation that strips DNA like acid, and beneath it all, something that feels almost aware. NASA promises boots on the Martian ground by 2040. SpaceX builds rockets for a 1 million-person colony. But what if we're not the first species to try conquering Mars? What if those ancient riverbeds and mysterious methane plumes aren't just geological accidents? The red planet has been waiting for 4 billion years. The question isn't whether we can survive on Mars, it's whether Mars will let us. Mars has captivated our imagination for centuries, a world painted in blood-red dust, orbiting silently in the cosmic void. It's close enough to tempt us, familiar enough to fool us, and just deadly enough to remind us why we don't belong there. Everyone talks about the monumental challenge of getting to Mars, the 9-month journey, the precise landing, the engineering marvels. But here's the uncomfortable truth that space agencies don't want to advertise. Reaching Mars is the easy part. The real nightmare begins the moment you try to survive there. From a distance, Mars looks like Earth's quieter sibling. Similar day length, seasons that change like ours, landscapes that look eerily familiar. But don't let that familiarity fool you, because Mars is no friend. It's a ghost of what a living planet might look like after hope has died. Every few years, something ancient awakes on Mars, a force so massive it can swallow continents. We're talking about electrostatic, razor-fine dust particles, so light that Mars's thin atmosphere keeps them suspended for weeks. It starts small, a gust, a whirl, then, without warning, dust devils spiral skyward, another follows, then another, until the surface disappears beneath rising walls of storm. In 2018, a global dust storm struck with devastating ferocity, choking the skies for months. Such storms aren't just storms, they're planet-sized blackouts threatening our future settlements. When the sky turns red and light disappears, survival becomes a desperate race against time. But there exists a solution, one where we need redundant energy systems beyond solar power. Small modular nuclear reactors become essential, providing constant power even when dust storms block sunlight for months. We are developing sophisticated storm forecasting systems using satellites and surface monitoring stations, giving colonists days or weeks to prepare. Equipment must be designed to be dust resistant, with sealed systems and advanced filtration, because on Mars, preparation isn't just smart, it's survival. Mars has an atmospheric pressure of just 6 to 7 millibars, 0.6% of Earth's pressure. It's essentially a vacuum wearing a disguise. At this pressure, your saliva would boil on your tongue, and exposed bodily fluids would vaporize before you could scream. Your blood starts bubbling like a witch's cauldron. Even if we fix the pressure, Mars's atmosphere is 95.32% carbon dioxide, with virtually no oxygen. You literally cannot breathe Martian air. We fight back by creating Earth-like bubbles in this alien hellscape. Pressurized habitats built from regolith become our shields, while Mars's lava tubes, massive underground tunnels carved by ancient volcanic flows, offer natural shelters that maintain pressure. MOXIE technology splits CO2 into oxygen, literally breathing life from a dead world's breath. Mars averages minus 80 degrees Fahrenheit, but it can also plummet to minus 225 degrees Fahrenheit at the polar caps. Your breath instantly crystallizes, and exposed skin becomes frostbitten in seconds. At the poles, temperatures drop so low that the atmosphere itself can freeze, which is nature's ultimate practical joke, where the punchline is death. Advanced thermal engineering becomes our weapon against the cold. Habitats need multiple layers of insulation and vacuum barriers to maintain Earth-like temperatures. Since solar power receives only 43% of Earth's energy, dropping to nearly zero during dust storms, nuclear power becomes survival essential. Small modular reactors serve as eternal campfires, keeping the frozen hell at bay. Mars is constantly bombarded by radiation that makes Chernobyl look like a spa day. Unlike Earth, Mars lacks a magnetic field and only has a whisper of an atmosphere, offering no real protection from cosmic rays and solar radiation. Astronauts? Well, they'd be exposed to around 100 times more radiation than we experience on Earth, levels that cause cancer, genetic mutations, and acute radiation sickness. It's like living inside a microwave that never turns off. But we go underground, turning Mars against itself. That same toxic regolith trying to poison us becomes our shield. Several feet of Martian soil blocks radiation like natural armor against this invisible killer. Water becomes our double-duty resource, stored in tanks that wrap around habitats as both a liquid radiation shield and a survival essential. Scientists are even developing radiation-resistant construction materials and exploring genetic modifications to make future colonists as tough as the extremophile microbes we're sending ahead. Yet, even as we solve the radiation problem, Mars has another weapon in its arsenal, one that strikes from above with planet-crushing force. Remember the dust storms? Mars experiences global dust storms that last for months and completely block out the sun. These aren't just rough weather, they're planet-scale blackouts. And 2018, one even killed NASA's Opportunity rover, suffocating it in darkness until its solar panels stopped working. These storms threaten more than equipment. They threaten the entire idea of living on Mars. That's why redundancy becomes survival. Advanced weather forecasting systems, using satellites and ground monitors, alert colonies in advance, while equipment gets designed with sealed systems and filters to withstand ultra-fine, abrasive Martian dust that makes Earth's dust feel like gravel. But surviving the storms is meaningless if we can't find the one thing our bodies need most: water. And Mars? Well, it's playing the ultimate game of hide and seek with it. Water exists on Mars, yes, but it's locked away, frozen in polar ice caps, hidden underground, or trapped in toxic briny pockets that would kill you before quenching your thirst. Without drinkable water, human survival is impossible. We can live for weeks without food, but only days without water. On Mars, finding clean water, it's like searching for a needle in a poisonous haystack. So, we mine for water like it's gold. Ice extraction and purification systems, they harvest frozen water from underground deposits, while advanced heating and pressure systems, they extract water from ancient subsurface ice and even toxic brine, purifying it for use. The real game changer is closed-loop water recycling, systems so efficient they reuse nearly every drop. Sweat, brine, even urine, it's all filtered and reused in systems more advanced than anything on Earth. Survival becomes alchemy. Even with water secured, there's a deeper threat lurking, one that attacks not the body, but the human spirit itself. So, picture this. A fire breaks out in your habitat. You call for help and hear only silence. Communication signals take 4 to 24 minutes to travel between planets, one way. No real-time chats, no emergency responders, just you and whatever crisis you're facing. But the threat goes deeper. Extreme isolation, confined spaces, and knowing you can't leave, they all take a massive toll on mental health. On Mars, the mind might prove more fragile than the body. We prepare for silence by creating a connection. Virtual reality systems simulate familiar Earth environments, while AI companions provide real-time conversation and emotional support. Every astronaut trains as a generalist, doctor, engineer, psychologist. Because Mars doesn't allow narrow expertise, habitats get designed with natural lighting, private areas, and communal spaces that support mental well-being for the long haul. Fortunately, humans won't face these challenges alone. We're sending an advanced team that doesn't need oxygen, water, or psychological support. Before any human sets foot on Mars, an army of robotic pioneers prepares the way. Not just rovers, but adaptive decision-making machines like Boston Dynamics robotic dogs, modified to walk, climb, and map Martian caves without GPS or human intervention. These machines won't get stuck in soft terrain or run out of breath. They'll build, scout, and survive in conditions that would break humans, becoming the vanguard of Martian civilization. So yes, Mars is trying to kill us in at least 7 creative and terrifying ways. The toxic soil wants to poison us, the absent atmosphere wants to suffocate us, the cold wants to freeze us, storms want to bury us in darkness, and the water scarcity wants to find us almost dead. But here's the amazing part. For every way Mars tries to kill us, human ingenuity is developing solutions that are nothing short of miraculous. We're creating closed-loop life support systems, building radiation-resistant underground cities, engineering bacteria that eat toxins, and designing psychological support systems for challenges no human has ever faced. So, yes, Mars will try to kill you. That's not a maybe, that's a promise. But here's the thing about humans. We're disgustingly stubborn. We've survived ice ages, plagues, and disasters that should have wiped us out. Mars is just the next test. This isn't about finding a backup Earth. This is about proving we can thrive anywhere, even on a planet actively trying to murder us. If we can build cities where the air is poisonous and the ground burns flesh, we can survive anything the universe throws at us. Would you take the one-way ticket? Comment below and subscribe for humanity's most dangerous adventure.